Hi, Mrs. Hogue here with a lesson on how to create a clipping mask in Adobe Photoshop. First of all, what is a clipping mask? A clipping mask is used often in advertisement. It's when an image is placed inside text. Here's an example of the back of a Wheat Thins box where they used one picture to incorporate that into their text. Do what you do with whole grain. Clipping masks are often used on postcards. Here's an example of one from Nashville. Notice there's a different image inside each letter. There's also some font effects that they apply that we have learned in this class, such as the black stroke and a yellow 3D effect. Today, we will create our own clipping mask using Adobe Photoshop. The requirements for this clipping mask are to incorporate at least 5 different characters that can be letters, numbers, symbols. Use a different image or picture for each character and apply font effects to those text characters, and then incorporate a background image on there. Here's some examples from previous students. This one was a sport theme. They did place a background image and lowered the opacity on it so their letters would stand out more. We have messed around with the opacity a little bit. I'll show you again how to do that. The font effects on this project were a black stroke, again making the letters stick out more so you can read them easier. A different picture was applied to each letter, and number 2. This theme they picked social media. Again, there's a different image inside each letter with a black stroke around the letters and a background picture. Here's another sports theme. Noticed on their font effects, they created a stroke with two different colors, red and blue. Again, a different picture inside each letter. And you can pick something as simple as the word bouncy balls if you'd like. There's a different picture inside each letter. On this one, you may want to lower the opacity on the background picture so your letters stand out a little bit more. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Go ahead and pull up Photoshop. We're going to create a new project, so File New. We're going to call it Clipping Mask. And your last name after that. We're going to change this to inches if needed. I'm going to make my width 7 inches and my height a little bit smaller. You can do whatever size you need to here. No requirements, just based off what word or letters you pick. We're going to start out by typing our word using the horizontal type tool. We've used this in the past. The key here is to make sure your font color is black. And then pick a very wide type of font. As you notice from these examples, this one's very wide, and the reason is so we can see the image inside the letter. If you pick something very skinny or thin, you're not going to be able to see the picture as well. So I'm going to go with Black Oak Standard. I'm going to pick the word TJ, T-E-E-J-A-Y, and it's important that you type one letter at a time. So first I'm going to type T, and I'm going to commit that. And if you notice, I have a layer over here with only the letter T, and that's important. You want one layer per letter. I'm just going to keep going. Don't worry about the placement yet. I'm going to undo that. Sorry. I guess I lost my tool here. Don't worry about where you're placing your letters. Just get the word typed with one letter per layer. So you want to commit after each letter. Then go ahead back to your layers and your move tool and place the letters where you want on the board. That's your preference, however you want to place them. So now that I have all my layers typed, done with one letter per layer, I can go ahead and start getting some images to place behind them, inside them. So I'm going to go to Google and I'm going to search our school here. And I do like this mascot, so I'm going to pick the mascot. And like we've done in the past, save the image. I'm going to go to my pictures and I'm going to create a folder called Clipping Mask. And I'm going to place that image inside there. You may need that picture later, so we need to make sure we save it. And I'm going to do this for my background. I'm just going to go ahead and rename it since that was a number, so I know which one that is. I'm going to do one more picture, the soccer team. Now, if you have your own images that you want to do, that you get from your social media site, that's fine. If you need permission to enter those sites, just let me know, and I'll get that done for you. I'm just sticking with Google Images for now. Some people have used their own personal images and created their name. That's fine. Once I have all my images, I'm going to go ahead and open up one at a time. So I'm going to do the mascot first. And we're going to show both screens like we've done in the past. Two up. Just drag it over with that top tool and let go. I'm going to close that. I don't need it anymore. Now in this one, notice there's that white background. As we have done on other projects, we're going to go ahead and go to the magic wand tool and click on that background of that mascot and hit delete or backspace because I don't want that to show up inside my letter here. Control D will deselect. Now I get my image on top of my letter. It's a little big, so you're going to size it down. Edit Transform Scale. We've also used that several times. And I'm just going to size it to how I think it will cover up that letter pretty good. And commit it when you're done. Now make sure the picture layer is on top of the letter you want. In this case, I want it to be inside the T. So I make sure it's right on top of there. I'm going to hold down the Alt key and I'm going to wait till that icon changes in between the layers there. See how it changes to a black pointy icon? And then once I get that, I'm going to click my mouse. Don't forget to hold down Alt, otherwise that won't show up. And there you go. There's the picture inside the letter T. Now as long as you're on the picture layer, you can move it around. Maybe I want the bee's head to show up more, so you can move it around and place it. I'm going to do one more, then we'll do the background and a font effect. So open up the next picture, show them side by side, move it over. Again, this is really large, so I'm going to size it down. It's going to cover up the letter E. The best I can. And again, I'm just going to be able to see the top of these players here. Okay, now make sure the layer is above the letter so it's covering it up. Hold down Alt, click, and it's inside there. Now that one again, you can move it around. You can even size it again if you need to. So maybe I want to make it a little wider. And kind of show up inside there a little bit better. Okay. Commit that. Now you're going to go through all your letters, do the same procedure. For the font effects, you're going to go to the letter layer, click your font effect button, and you can pick one to apply there. I'm just going to do a white stroke. Maybe make it a little bit larger here. And then on my background, I'm going to click on my background layer, open up my background picture that I picked, move it over, size it, commit it, and over here on the right is your opacity percentage. Hit the arrow, and I'm going to lower mine down to about 55, 60, around there. Okay, and that's how you do the opacity, so your letters will show up. Now, if you don't like this white stroke after you get done, you can change it. Maybe change it to orange or whatever colors that you think look best. Okay, so keep going until you have at least a 5-letter number word background. You're able to read what it is, and you have font effects. You should be able to get that done before class is over. Go ahead and upload that to your Google Drive, and we'll share them as a class at the end.